Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Great. It's very wonderful tradition to we have opportunity to kind for all the mothers. I don't know how they start, when they start, who they start.
The greeting card company, I think, started it. The greeting card company is a way to sell greeting cards. They started it. That's what I've heard.
greeting card. 슈그들 제가 카드나요?
아니네.
카드 해도 저기.
This business. But anyway, it's really wonderful, We all sentient beings have mothers. We are both father and mother both. But we talk about very kind for mothers and then fathers are not. Because that was the same future I must
Discouraged.
discourage. Also we are fathers today, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Buddhism believe the mothers very, very kind, very, very important. And not just we say Buddhism say, we just thinking how kind mothers. Usually father and mother they both work hard, but particularly mothers, even they're 6 or 9 months and the stomach and belly. How hard when they find or their baby, then they cannot share their daily activity in life. They cannot eat whatever they like. They cannot do whatever they like. There are many things. These fathers have no idea. Mothers are hard. Of course fathers hard working, but the physical hard working the mothers have not idea their fathers have. This is just we can thinking about how they're hard working. In this country, when baby born, it's easy. Not in Tibet, in China, in India. The baby born just under the tree, just outside. I was born under the tree outside. Only my mother. No one helped. Then helpless. Because of their not tradition. They can go to all the hard workings. And who is very mother, they have experienced how hard. Therefore, we Buddhism, whenever we talk with a mother sentient beings, we don't say father sentient beings. Therefore, mother is very important. Therefore, whoever start this is very wonderful. Usually wherever we start to good things, there are a lot of benefits. Good things. If it is religion or not religion, it doesn't matter. No. They have very good results. Now, it's Mother's Day. It's not religion, they're just business. But they're kind to mothers. The kids have always also Mother's Day. I have to kind for my mother. They have to give something, pay back to their mothers. The mothers also little very too. What can I get to my Mother's Day? They're wearing the kids. They mix also mother and the kids have more connection, more strong, more close. It's very good. The other side, the business is also very good business. They can sell a lot of flowers, cars, whatever we do activity, the good things have a lot of good things. we can learn that it's not religion, but just not good things. Therefore, particularly all the mothers, is very kind for us. Special these love mothers, very kind for us. Even usually about this country, there are a lot of activities that can for us, but there was, when we are born, the mothers not take care of us, we die then. The mothers teach for us. Even we can check that the kids have some mothers, they got mother's love or not. When they grow up, they have different minds, they have different attitudes. Mother's love is very, very important for kids. Then, this country is a very developed country, everything's perfect. But the old, poor countries, the mothers have to, use even the kids.
So like in Tibet, the facility is so poor that they don't have the diapers and wipes, so they'll clean everything with their hand.
And not to share the
So, and then when the mothers clean the snot from the nose of the child, the infant, they use their mouth. They don't want to use hand in order to, it's very rough, so they use their mouth to suck. I don't know if that is considered as very dirty or something here.
But his mothers have never think their kids think dirty. That's what they was.
They don't consider that as dirty.
Usually, not do that,
So the snots and all the feces are all considered as very dirty, right? Filthy in this country, right? Or in anywhere else.
This is some parent, father did this also, said. Therefore, then when babies come out, the mothers, father both, they don't get very comfortable sleep. 24 hours. Even their little sound, they can sleep. They're very light. Light sleep. All the time. Walking, eating, going, all the time they remember the kids. Even the mothers, they're looking for their kids. The kids get smile, then mothers also get smile. Try to their kids to happy, many different ways. This is not religious, Our mother is very try to for the kids to good health, good life. Therefore, mothers very, very kind. Therefore, very opportunity to very, very sad. Happy Mother's Day. Kids have opportunity to make mothers to happy. Also, mothers have also good opportunity to kiss more clothes for them. They say, okay, tomorrow's Mother's Day, I have to do something. The business people also very into their day when they come in. And it's very, very good. Then we thinking too. When we started the mother's womb, then until mothers die, even if the mother's 80 years old, they think about the kids. Kids also maybe 50, 60, 70 years old. Mothers always think the kids. Even the kids grow up, they're getting to that, they think about my kids. All the mothers, they think my kid's best kid, best education. they never think my kids very bad. Most, sometimes, sometimes also come, the mothers also not very good, the kids. Kids also not good. The most, she's not a general. Therefore, most never mothers they give up. They love their kids. No, now we say we are adults. We say, I have the education, I have these things. Who can't? Their mothers will take it for us. They teach for us. Even how you pee, how you eat, they teach for all the aspects. Therefore, in the Buddhism also, the main thing is kind for mothers, very important. This is not only the Buddhist religion, this is all beings, all human beings. Even the animals, you can see our documents, how they love their kids, how they take care. For some animals, wild animals, there's some animals, they have to eat all the meat, then they kill each other. The mother, friend or mother, they kill their kid. The mother has nothing to do, but still try to she protect them. We're very kind for mothers. It's not just religions. All the religions or not religions, same. It's very kind for mothers. Therefore, very good opportunity. We also pray for the mothers too. Happy life, successful life, long life. This is very important. Usually today's Mother's Day, then most people talk to, then, celebration. So we celebrate, they say, oh, today we don't have time to go to temple, we have to do Mother's Day celebration. But usually best is you come to morning here, you came to pray together, make some merit, and afternoon, whatever you do, it's good. But anyway, now we have to give for material things and our prayer. Our prayer is most better, most best. Include father also. Otherwise fathers, so maybe Buddhism doesn't like the fathers. It's not their kind, Therefore, we pray for mothers for long life, happy life, successful life. Very important. Then also the Tibetan Buddhism belief or calendar, this month is very, very special month. Very, very holy month. Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni, This month, 2,500, more than 500 years, he was born this month. He was passed away this month. He got enlightenment this month. Also same day. Also he get Radhashun.
Become monk.
He become monk this month, a different day. Therefore Buddhism believe the special days if you do the positive things, then you get more merit. If you get more merit, then you become very successful. This month, all of the world, the Buddhism countries, the celebration of Buddha's birthday, usually, even the Buddhists have many different, Thai, Sri Lanka, Taiwan, Thailand, Laos, They believe, I think, maybe same month, but they believe different days. They all think to do the good activities. holy beings teach for all the very good things. Example, Christmas. Christmas is what? Jesus passed away or what? Birthday. All of the world celebration, Christmas. How wonderful. Everybody have good opportunity to big celebration. They are all. Everybody got the presents. Looking under the tree, what they got. How wonderful. Holy beings.
So the biography of the the teachers becomes like the practice of the students.
Therefore, holy beings always teach for us very different things, good things. Christmas Day. Very good things we can have opportunity to celebration for us. A lot of things. Therefore, Buddhism also believe too. Buddha's birthday this month, Tibetan called Saka Dawa. Usually Saka Dawa means that there's some Kamadri means Saka Dawa.
So that's the name of the star.
But this fourth Tibetan word, fourth month. Fourth month. Therefore, when we Tibetan study, practice, is okay, nothing. I'm trying out the my broken English. And then also that 나주 나게 또 첨부리 해봐라. 아니 다 그렇게 말아봐. 나 요바 나시 상하요. 대 상하이나 다 하시는 또 첨부리 말이에요.
So for any kind of practice or the virtuous action to become powerful, you need to have these 5 things. So if you have all these 5 things together when you do the virtuous action, then it becomes really powerful. So those 5 things that it depends on, for it to become powerful. One of the things is the field, and then other one is the intention, and then the base, and the thing, and the time. So the field, like we talk about the merit field, where the field of the Buddhas, where the Buddhas are residing, the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, the holy beings.
아니 바티와이나 아니 땅으로 전체 아마 아니 대라야 보시는 다 손은 좀 빠르게 passabilis.
And so if we make offerings to these holy beings, special beings like Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, the field of merit, field for accumulating merit, and so therefore we accumulate great amount of merit. We make offerings and services to the holy beings like Buddhas and so forth. And then also the same, with the sentient beings who've been very kind to us, like our mothers.
What it is, 야나란 초밥이가다 아니 다 파트너 테라니 수수 파마라 들어야 아니 다 샤치셔야 돼. 다 손을 써서 다 촉제 버렸어.
And so the holy beings like the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas or holy objects, like stupas and so forth, becomes a field for accumulating merit. When we talk about, when we think in terms of the holy beings, but when we think in terms of the ordinary sentient beings, then our mothers who've been very kind to us, our father and others who've been very kind to us, if we serve them, then that becomes a very powerful merit for us.
What it is, touching number my button in my number, so to Chulukari, Kelly and the Chulu to Tomaria, and they touch Chopioina, that's on the bottom of was.
So not necessary to be Buddhist. You can be of different belief, who believe in different kind of gods or beings, holy beings and so forth. If you make offerings to them, then it becomes much more powerful merit.
And that Shimbadi, that Pama, Chibana, Chalagata, can tomorrow was.
And so the mothers, and fathers, parents, who's been very kind to us, serving them, looking after them is very kind, right? Very good thing, which is accepted by all of us.
If someone doesn't believe that parents very kind, no, can't. Yapoma kemenenzo.
Kemen's what?
Kemenenzo da. Kono chemoro. Yapoma kemenenzo. Da kelen ba na da. Ane tuzola ya tiga tikabla ya shaushu chiwa ina. Da sona masa yoris.
So those who don't believe that parents are not kind, then there's nothing you can do about it, right? But if you believe in that, then if you make offerings or services, serve them, then it's much more meritorious than serving other beings.
One time I was talking some other place, then we talk about how kind of mother than she was. The one girl, she said, she don't like my parents. She said, they didn't, the girl, so
didn't look after her very well.
No, this kind of, we cannot argue for them. We say, okay, just we say, okay, better. Otherwise, we say, Lord argues, then no good. They make more upset. But usually, general, the mother is very kind for us. That's she said, that's she said,
So, but if we consider about other side of what mothers did for us, then it is understandable that all mothers have been very kind to us. Anyway, so because mothers have been very kind and fathers as well been very kind to us, so if we serve them, we do something for them, then that becomes meritorious also. And so right here at our center, for all the holy bodies, the representative of Buddha's body, speech and mind, the statues, the scriptures, and the stupa and so forth. And so if we make offerings to these holy objects, then this becomes very meritorious also. And also this place has been blessed and prayed by all these holy beings like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and many other great teachers.
And
also there are other teachers, like the teachers from Christianity, the priests from Christian belief have come and also prayed in this place.
And then Medford MA
so before they set up a like kind of a meeting to discuss about different religions in Medford city, and we held that meeting many times in our center here.
We have started going now. Now we try to do some in Medford School. There one restaurant. We go to that. Then we buy the one lunch. Then we share. We talk there 1.5 hour. It's very wonderful, The religious. We have and Jesus.
And so we have different teachers, different believers of different religions, like Buddhism, and then there's Christianity, and I didn't see any Islams, but there are some Hindus, sometimes they come also to participate in the discussion.
Anyway, there are also many that kind of religion people also come to pray here. Such as the music
because this place has been blessed by all these different teachers of different beliefs, and therefore, this place becomes a complete field, to accumulate merit.
That's something
And so the other factor, to make the merit very powerful is the intention. So whatever virtuous action you engage in always has to do with a good intention. So according to Buddhism, the best intention, to hold when engaging in any kind of activity, is the intention of bodhicitta, the altruistic intention. bodhicitta, wishing to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So if you do any kind of activities with that kind of intention, then that activity becomes very meritorious.
아니 장치고 샘자다 같이 젬배가 이제는 팬도 치는지 삼바이가 아니 장치 샘나 그래서.
And so the bodhicitta, the altruistic attitude, is wish to benefit other sentient beings, right?
되게 샘데 줄로 개냥에나 말랭에나 이제는 팬 삼바 yap으러 왔어.
And so that kind of intention, an intention to benefit other, is very good, right? Whether you believe in religion or not.
가르에서 나 이제는 팬 삼바한테 이제는 내가 집에 삼바 티를 녹쇼를 했어.
So that is because the intention to benefit other is the opposite of intention to harm others, right?
그래서 이제는 내가 집에 샘 야고 말어 왔어.
And the intention to harm others is not good, right?
데리다 티를 녹쇼 다 이제는 팬데 이로데 하장을 올랍 첨보. 강다도 제가 된적이 샘지요나 근데 임바였나야. 아니 지금 뭐대 샤워남로요 되게. 아니 미간게 가오 쟁이. 아니 다미요 그래서.
And so if one has that kind of intention, the intention to benefit others, then that kind of intention is very wonderful, very wonderful mind. And if you have that, then you'll be liked by other people, and you get along with other people. You will be benefiting others, and will not cause any harm to others, and so forth. Right?
Even we check it just 신통만 하다는 생각.
In general, in our society.
And for that we check that some people working for all the time others. This person everybody loves the most successful, also good. Some person always think only me. I want this. I'm right. I'm the good person. Only me. This kind of person has always problem, more problems this kind. Who has more than not something should cut each other somebody kind of mind.
However strong mind you have, that thinking or grasping at that I or your ego, will cause that much more problem in the society.
Because we say why? Because I need best. Whatever I say is right. Whatever I think is right. Whatever I give the idea is right. It's not possible, right? Anybody has different ideas. They cannot everybody accept whatever you want. Therefore you are more problem. You are more stressed, Stressed. Then you are more unhappy. This is for our we can think. Just we use our intelligent mind. We can think. It's true or not. If I think about always, I'm the right person. Whatever I say is right. Whatever you say is wrong. That kind of person always make a lot of work. They have a lot of there inside there. So how can I make to listen or do or whatever I say the others? A lot of work they have to do. Therefore,
And so therefore, the mind will have a lot of problems.
Therefore, you guys think about this is true or not. Buddha said, I teach you whatever my experience, but don't believe just blind faith for me. You can investigation. This is my experience, but you can investigation. If you think this is not correct, give up, just forget. If you think this is not useful, try to do this. This book good for you. Therefore, we can think about that. Therefore, Teresa, Jana Pemik Sabaseti, and we can go Chesa. So sort of devoting it.
And so that good intention, is something that is liked by all other people, and something that gives pleasure or happiness to ourselves.
Or Tendega something bigger, then somebody a peace that king will.
And so that kind of intention, will bring peace in the world.
There was so soon. Same peace to the Yajamata, normally peaceful, you might get and no bomb truck.
So if you don't develop that kind of intention in your mind, instead, go out and say you need peace, for 100 years, you still not have peace in the world.
I'm not talking about your was here, okay? I'm not all of the world, all the people. Everybody wants peace, but they don't develop the peace in their own mind. Then never happen. tenriza tenriga jela pembe samba te kende lane ta gewa chema ina ani ta samba top chewa sai ta samba ko ne sai bares.
So if you engage in virtuous action with this kind of an intention, especially the intention of an altruistic attitude or bodhicitta, and that becomes very powerful. So that is the way to make your activity become more meritorious by having a good intention.
teneda tandi shi diga shi yosa tela pemne wa ta tene ani samchen song jaza chasa nga nanchi dewa duchi dunga mudo ba chipa chichare teneda kozo dewa da demba dunga da chawa ge cheda ani nge jowa piwa shawa saya an nyamne chewa kanga tendu cheda yensa me kolong teri samte tekene chena ani ta chude haran ge topche mo res.
And so now you have the good intention, and with that, if you go to a good field, like a holy place, and then you make offerings in that place, to the representative of Buddha's body, speech, and mind, with the intention, thinking that I and all sentient beings are equal in wanting to be happy and not wanting any suffering. And so, in order to eradicate their suffering and to bring the happiness they want, I'm going to make this offering, and I'm going to do this practice and so forth. So if we do that, then it becomes really powerful, because we have the best intention and you have the most holy place where you're doing the practice. And then the next one is the base. The base, or the basis, is regarding oneself, the practitioner oneself. So the basis here is the basis on the basis of an ordained person or on the basis of a lay person, lay practitioner. And so the base, on the basis of the ordained practitioner and on the basis of the lay practitioner. So if it is among these two bases, the basis, the base of the ordained person and the lay person. Of course, if you do the practice on the basis of ordained person, then it becomes much more powerful. In other words, even if it's same action or same good action that both are creating, if you're ordained, then your merit becomes more powerful. And then the carries the same with the negative karma. So if you create negative karma, even though you're creating the same kind of negative karma, but if you're a monk or if you're an ordained person, then your negative karma becomes much more powerful. So that is there are many factors. There are many factors that makes it more powerful in terms of virtuous actions and non-virtuous actions. Because the monks are supposed to be an example for practicing dharma, right? So it's looked up as a model, right, to engage in good actions, good activities, not only in Buddhism but in all other religions as well, right? So if the ordained person does something bad, then the people will look at it as in a very bad way, right? And think of it as a very severe negative karma. And so it is more, if you do good, and also it's more if you do bad. And then so other factors because of the vow, right? The base vow, because of having that vow, it makes it more powerful. And then also in the basis of the lay practitioner, there are many different kind of vows that one can have. So the lay practitioners will have the lay vows, right? And then and so because of the vow again, so a person who has the vow, the lay vow, and the person who doesn't have the lay vow, so if the person who has lay vow creates positive karma, his positive karma becomes much more powerful than the person without the lay vow.
콜라들이 딱 개와 톱시를 또 그래.
So because you made the promise, right? When you take a vow, you mention that you're going to do it. So when you with that intention, you do it, and then it becomes naturally more powerful than doing it without any intention, right? So here, when you take the vow, you have the intention. You say you're going to do that. You make the promise not to do it or to do it, and so when you do it or not to do it, then it becomes naturally more powerful.
아니 다 대만이 받아 지금. 아니 잠들도 받아. 아니 대체 소리도 받으래. 이렇게로 가딜라만 대가래다 축제를 들어.
And then also because it is very difficult to observe those vows, so when you do those things with the difficulties, again it becomes more powerful. So there are many different kind of vows, the lay vows. You can also take the bodhisattva vows, tantric vows, and so forth, or the refuge vows.
아니 아직 딱 줄을 심어서 소소소 됐다. 아니 다 가로 동배가 송세됐다. 동마들 요즘 왔더니 동마들 여봐이나 대도 되네. 소소 조업해가지고 다시 대체해요.
And then I think the same with other religions. They might have vows given by their teachers or their gods, right? And so those vows, if they practice with those vows, then maybe I think in the same way their practice becomes much more powerful than those without the vows. So that's the basis. That's the base.
근데 이제 다 단단히 어디지 때 당기 보셔야 돼. 감보에 되라. 그래서 감 조업해야 돼.
And then the thing, is the material things that you use to make offerings of.
좋아. 아니 간수 다 남배 제와이나 아니 상제도 상주 선바에 조업해야 돼. 아니 수수를 같이 감다 채워야 돼. 비고서 나도 그랬어.
So according to Buddhism, when we make offerings, we should try to make the offerings of the best things we have.
Usually, 대체와이나 아니 소소고 소나고 소마서 이랬어.
And so that is because if we do that, then it becomes much more meritorious.
그리고 다 되게 매와이나 간지 소소는 주매 공목강 야자적으로 지금 배면은 더 소소고 루이 발랑데 다 친구 다 친구 마음대로 소소 싸만 바꾸는 배요.
And then also when you make offerings, there's different ways. You can actually offer, and then you can mentally offer, by visualizing them, imagining them. You can do that. So if you can't afford to offer the best, then you offer whatever you can afford. You can offer, and then when you offer that, you can multiply that offering, through imagining. Even if you're offering just one candle, you can think that you're offering like 100 or 1,000 or 100,000 candles like that.
그다음 나도 메라피다가 리자보라고 살이모들 딸 슈 라고도 왔어. 마부치 보시고.
So just like when we offer mandala, the mandala offerings, and you offer the whole world system. So like the world system, we visualize like in like a Mount Meru with the 4 continents. And so that's considered as one world system, and then you can think of that world system, including all the world system in there.
어디 소소 끝나고 지야 다 루다 마부치니 줄이 보이나 아니 다 배웠다가 마요로.
And so if you can mentally imagine like that, that's great, vast, and then it becomes more powerful or more meritorious.
다 이보세요. 근데 다 뒤에 나와도 뒤에 근데 뒤에 가는 옆에나 야여서나 다 뒤에 뒤쳐와지는 다시나 배워줘야지.
And so that's the thing, right? The thing to offer, material things to offer, and then the fifth one is the time. So what to do with the time? The time is like considering which time would be the best to do the practice, and so the times like special events took place, like the holy the special times, and that is considered as more powerful than doing it on other times.
어떻게 다 가서 뒤쳐와지 배나 남배 셔와이나 세번 제다 세번 주다 세번 종마다 유시와서 뒤쳐와지는 송거래서.
So on a daily month, the days like the 8th day, according to the lunar calendar, lunar month, and then the 8th day of the lunar month, and then the 10th, 15th, 25th, and the 30th are considered as very special days, special time.
근데 다 디나가 라바다 라데 단다 나왔는데 다 사제 좀 되는데 대신 남주가도 연락지나 다 대신 숨숨슬라고 그랬어. 다 물려진다 봐지 다 대신 신성로 대신 숨좀세야 잡아 쫑아대 다 대신 숨좀이 말이 상지 좀인데 거야 되니까 좋아요 말이 야간에 대한 저의 말이 상대가 되어다 니마대 사대로 서로 쫑아대 대신 숨좀지 다 제가 되라 아니 라디오하다 다 나와대 대신 신성세 거라 그랬어.
So this month, the fourth month, the fourth lunar month is the month that Buddha, many, the special things happen in Buddha's life on that day. We say that there are three things in general, which are birth. He was born on the 15th, on the full moon day of the fourth month, and then he gained enlightenment in that very day, of course, after many years. After many years, then he achieved enlightenment on the same day, on the full moon day, on the 15th of the fourth lunar calendar, lunar month, and then also he passed away, on the same day, on the 15th of the fourth month after many years. So those three are considered as a very special event, and that those took place on the same day. And then in the whole month, like then there says that the four things that took place. So those are the three. And then on the 8th of the fourth month, he became monk. So he took a vow, as the celibacy, he took that vow at that time. So in the whole month, there's these four different special times that happen in Buddha's life. And so it is believed that whatever virtuous action we accumulate in this month, or non-virtuous action we accumulate and create in this month, multiplies by 100,000 times. And so whatever you do becomes, it multiplies by 100,000 times. So if you make one lamp offering, then it is same as making 100,000 lamp offerings. If you make one prostration, it is same as making 100,000 prostrations. And if you recite one whole mala of Om Mani Padme Hum, then it becomes same as reciting 100,000 times the mala of Om Mani Padme Hum. So you have to have everything, all the preparation, the actual and the conclusion has to be all there. Otherwise, everything that you do will not become will not multiply by 100,000 times. And so if we talk about the benefits of the virtuous action, then there's so much benefits we can talk about, we can think about, we can talk about.
Then we ask a question. What's wrong? We do a lot of prayers, but practice still we have a lot of problems. What they call the prayers. But this is, if we do correctly, this happens. But we have to do correctly, always.
So the preparation is the motivation. So you have to have the good motivation, you have to do a good action, and then you have to conclude this is the dedication, dedicated in a proper way, in the right way. So if you have all these three, then that action becomes very powerful. So we always complain that we do all these prayers and practices, but we still have a lot of problems. That's because we're not doing these prayers and practices properly. So to do properly, the intention has to be good, the action has to be good, and the conclusion has to be good. So in our case, if the intention is good, the action becomes so-so, then the dedication will always slip into dedicating for this life and not for a good reason, so forth. And so the action doesn't really become very powerful. So no matter how much we pray, how much we practice, it doesn't help us much.
And
then also we do that, as something, the least important thing. Like, there are so many things that we have to do in a day. The least important thing we leave as our practice. For practice, we think of that as the least important. And so keep it lasting to do.
If I have time to like it, it's well working to. Other things we have to do with effort.
So because we do, it's in a so-so way, therefore, it doesn't become that much powerful.
what is it? Today is a okay. Whatever talk about.
Saka Dawa.
Saka Dawa, okay. I'm getting old. Today is a time. 아주 나와 내려야. 단 나머지 문제 정치 대리님 고수네. 아니 계획샤바 야부샤바다 컴퓨터 제공을 했어.
And so I've explained the importance of this month, and also it is your time, your turn, to do the practice, right? So starting from today, for the rest of this, fourth month of the Tibetan calendar, you should try to do as much as possible good things, and as much as possible avoid the bad things.
And then how do the Mazotas and the Saka Dawa Jongalaya, and Shoki Chili Shido Sheka, the Gonda Chido Chili Shaba, Yaman Yangalaya, Dinagata. And
especially on the 15th and the full moon day of this month, we have a lot of activities happening here at the center, all the practices and teachings and practices that is organized at the center, and prayers organized at the center starting from 4:30 a.m. in the morning until 4:30 p.m. So you should try all your best to come and participate in those activities.
So 먼저 다 고급 사무실에 디닝가들라 다 좀비 얘기 다 나베 딱 그런 거 배에 나베가 디닝가 맞지는 좀비 가와는 가게만 너무 자고 그랬어.
And so that becomes very powerful because everybody, like in terms of Tibetan Buddhist believers, Buddhism believers, all pray at the same time, on that day. So with the group in that way, it also makes it very powerful.
아니 시타 대화만 해서 나베기 다 작업 관계 나바 관계기 다 이마까지 나서 이마까지 지진다 뒤가도 처리해서.
So anyway, in the whole world, all the Buddhist tradition, not only the Tibetan Buddhism but also other Buddhist tradition holders, they all believe that day to be the holiest day. They all pray at the same time. Of course, there's a difference in time, right? So. The Eastern time, Western time, there's a different time, but on the same day.
어떻게 맞아? 되니까 딱 남아서 연아지 추적하시 맨날지 추적체나 까맣죠. 인지미지 내를 편에 남아서 대 자리들에 다 오래서.
And so for whatever amount of time that you can manage to spend here would be very good. Of course, whole day would be the best, but if not, then maybe a couple of hours or even like half hour or 15 minutes if you can come here and do some virtuous action, and that will be very good for yourself.
아니 다 지체소라 감도 되는 거야 지금 다 아니 상지가 송 아니 인지나지를 가지고 로야다 되는 잘 요래서.
And then also we have a plan to read some of the prayers, the sutras that is translated into English.
아니 배워서 영원히 아니 간절자당 도바지하는 게 대적 도바니 자당 유시설에 다 대리만 장로체나도 다 자시 그래서.
And
so, and also for the Tibetans, there's these scriptures, all these the translated teachings and the translated commentaries. We have 108 volumes of translated teachings and 100, maybe 200, some volumes, scriptures, of the commentaries, the translated commentaries. So all these texts will be, will be distributed, and people will go. We call it glance reading. You read the whole thing, but you just do glance. Just look with your eye, and then several pages, and then look with your eye, several pages, and then look with your eye. Just look at it. So it's called glance reading. So we do that.
아니 나보다 편데 근데 저 라파이 차는데 저도 다시 라파 차만 좀 한번 차가다. 다 교수님이 밑에가 이래서.
And so, of course, if you can read, if you know how to read, you can read it. If you don't know, you can just look at the letters. And that leaves also a very positive influence. And even just by touching it or placing it on your head, you get the blessing. So, if you want to participate for that, also you can come and just look at it.
아니 대가 나도 제외 전세로 가진 제거로 나도 나와 있나서. 딱 내가 뭐 있었어.
So the reason why we do that, there's many reasons why we do that.
아니 실 나도 다 넘을래야. 아니 내가 먹여다 투스만 보는 거 그랬어.
So there's generally so many bad things that happen in the world, like the wars, the famine and sickness and so forth, right? And so the main reason to do that is to eradicate these problems.
아니 지금 싫어봐는 딱 시험에 다 남바도 남바 많이 간지게 무심발을 편 통에 뛰어 담아 먹은 거래 더 그때 일이 때 말하는 거죠.
And also for the purpose of all the holy beings, Buddhist or non-Buddhist holy beings, and holy beings who are teaching the path, the true path, to benefit others, to have long and stable life.
아니 사도들 만들어야 다 대상 중앙에서 나와 모형도 왔어.
And also, especially nowadays, we face so many problems from the elements, right?
그래서 먼저 사기는 주고도 먹는 것이고 사기는 먹는 것이고
from like the earth, the fire, water, and so forth, air. And so we have a lot of the earthquakes, right? So a lot of bad things happening from the earth, like the earthquakes, and causing a lot of death and injuries, right?
아니 저로도 주고도 왔어.
And we have a lot of flood, right, from the water.
아니 맨 방도 왔어.
And then fire, catching fire in many places.
아니 가서 직가로.
Look.
아들 롱 나와 모형도 왔어.
And many from the air, right? Many diseases and harms from the air.
어떤데다 두조 마야와 체대다 나도 뒤니마래 내가 뒤니가라. 그런데 그런데 두조 마야 저도 그런데 나도 뒤니가다. 개미샤도 저래서 와.
So in order to eradicate or prevent all these harms from these elements, then we engage in those practices.
something take care of 개와 체와이나 아니 소소라 계산하기로 해서 소소 들라고 말이야.
So if we include all beings in the prayers, then oneself will receive much more benefit. So you're not only doing for yourself, but you're also doing for all others. And sometimes when you think about others, you might think that you're left out. No, you're not left out. You say, for all beings, you're included there also.
Okay. If we think about others, but we get more benefits. If you think always only me, then you don't get anything. Therefore, we need to benefit, right? If you think about others, then we get more benefits. Then try to best. What is the thing you chased? Thing you zapping by the doors.
So that falls on a weekend, on Saturday, so you have no excuse not to come.
Okay? And that day the Tanapana Hapa Mambo, that day by Yending and Mambo, not the Nisa was to say Mambo Swed was.
And so, from today, maybe there's still about 2 weeks, right? And so you have a lot of time to prepare for that.
Then Yending to Tusolaki missing Lapu.
And so this is, I'm also telling the people who are listening on the internet.
Those people usually they lay down, just relax. Here, the more effort they have to do. We have to say here, stay there, relax. 소소 가고 소소 싸치고 뛰기나 아니 내가 가려야 돼. 아니 자신의 오래서.
So if you want to help yourself, if you want to if you love yourself, if you want to help yourself, then you should do good things on a special days like this.
아니 소소리 샤티야 돼. 소소 샤티야 되지. 무슨 제거 말이야. 내가 가르쳐나 소소 샤티야 했어.
And so this becomes a puja for yourself, a prayer for yourself also. You don't have to request for special prayers, special pujas for you. If you do that, that becomes puja for yourself.
근데 이봐야자 아니 다 셴바도 가서 가와쳐는 가서 지대한 식으로 들어.
And also you should rejoice in other people's good activities as well. So you can think of all these people who are engaging in tremendous Dharma practice or virtuous actions. So imagine, think of those things and then rejoice. Think of, oh, that's very good, that's wonderful that they are doing this. So rejoice from your heart.
Also, this is Buddhism, non-Buddhism doesn't matter. Whoever doing the good things, rejoice. 그래서 이제 개화시반 특별히 다른 trouble 그 세번에 니네가 지세야 할 때 성면도 돌아서 그래서.
And so it is said that if you rejoice in other people's virtuous activities, instead of feeling jealous or instead of feeling jealous and things of he's doing that but he's not really doing anything good. Instead of feeling like that, if you really rejoice from your heart, think that it's very good that he's doing that, then you create equal amount of merit as the other person. So if the other person is making 100,000 prostration and you rejoice from your heart, then you accumulate the merit equal as him making 100,000 prostrations.
Okay, this is very easy, right? But usually we always jealous the others, right? Yeah, he or she does it, yeah, that doesn't do correctly. This is not right. We are always exclusive, right? Oh, maybe then the motivation is not correct. They're actually looking for this, maybe some name or some, fame. We always do these things, right? We always excuse. But it's all the wrong. It doesn't matter, Buddhism, non-Buddhism, religion doesn't matter. If you are doing good things, it's good. Enjoy. You don't need to excuse whatever they do. But usually we have a lot of excuses. Okay? 다 들으려고 들으다 대체 저와ችን 마도 다 단단한 다른 게 납대 때 말하고 나한테 마도 차상 상교를 해서.
So we have this all these the factors to make the marriage very powerful, all the 5 factors that I mentioned earlier. So we have all of those here.
어디지? 아니 다 들으다 다 나와들라 같이 개와 카운터 터주시 때 내가 친구 전화를 했어 와.
So on this month, you should accumulate merit as much as possible. That's for your own benefit.
다 개와 간이적으로 나왔어. 다 개와도 떨어지게 떼질 낳고 있어.
And so, what kind of virtuous actions should you create, accumulate? So I'm going to explain a little bit about what actions you should create.
먼저 남에게 루소 다 로탄스가 시다라 쇼게 나들나 본다 나들만 예들라 그래서.
So in the teachings, it said that you should go to bed a little early, and then you should wake up, get up early in the morning.
먼저 때 급할 없으래 맞.
So in our case, it's all opposite of that, right?
와. 본다 쳇더니 쇼가 쳇다만 와.
We go to sleep late, and then we wake up late also.
All the things like that. 가르치는 애들이나 나도 쇼게 나오고 나도 집바디 싫어하고 담보요 그랬어. 나도 간다 싸워 그랬어. 쇼게 나오고.
And so that's because our mind is much more awake and clear in the morning.
와. 아니 배짱구리 주차하셔가지고 공다 취소 바지 제와 또 숨고를 그랬어. 쇼게 취소 숨 시작하는데 장거를 야시한 그랬어.
And so like in the case of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, he always go to sleep around 8 p.m. and then he wakes up around 3:30 p.m. 3:30 a.m. in the morning.
그러다 공다만 가더니 쇼킹하디 하나가 있나 쇼킹하도 샘당 르보다가 싸와 인사 가르치는 이해가 제도로.
So if we go to bed early in the night and then early wake up early in the morning, and our mind, our body has had a good rest, and so our mind becomes more clear and more awake, and so whatever actions we engage in will become proper, much better at that time.
Here maybe once, maybe twice a year for to get up. Everybody try to for me. Right? But today that 쇼게 많다달라야. 내가 만들면 되나. 수리치 야야 나한테 내가 보셔야 돼.
And so at least if you can wake up 1 hour before you go to work in the morning, that would be very good.
아니 공다티 지 골라마가 먹으셔야 돼. 다 내마다 맛만 얘나야 보여서.
And then in the evening, you should go to sleep a little early. Don't spend too much time doing the things that you don't need to do.
그래서 들여다다 쇼케베나 쇼게 나서 야랑해로 아니 다 야랑사도 나가 초조게 초조라치 다 니마치 초조 냠내 제가로 달라고 했다고 나서 오늘 치세 다 내가 치료 듬바도고 있나 치세 나와 같이가 더 야랑스러워.
So if you're going to work at around 7 o'clock, then you should get up by 5:30 in the morning.
아니 야랑 사바야 조조체네 아니 지 아니 나바테 모제네 다 나도 나바이네서 아니 다 산지 좀 되다가 야 다가지 다 몸자고 그래서
And so of course, and after you take a bath, right? Like wash your face, brush your teeth, and so forth. After doing that, then you can sit down. And then sit down in cross-legged position if possible, and then with your hands folded together, think about the good things think about the holy beings, the holy objects like Buddha, Shakyamuni, and so forth.
아니 딱 네가 끊어줘 이래서 와 아니 지금 산지 주는 산지다 상주 선배 아니 방에서 지금 대전에 아니 대원을 선배지 어때 전에 아니 지금 그놈도 주네 아니 야라네 지금 소소를 지금 저 배들로 요이나 아니 양자로 비추는 거는 배피는 마대네 다소도 냠는 것도 그래서
So then you set up your motivation, right? Think about this, the holy beings, and then set up your motivation. Think about the bodhicitta, think about refuge, taking refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and then think about the bodhicitta. So once you have had set up a proper motivation, then you can set up, and then then start engaging in the practice of making offerings, and then making prostration, and then you sit down, and then you can do your meditations or prayers. And so the main practice to be done are the 7 limb practices. And so the 7 limb practices, like the practice making prostration, making offering, and so then there's the making the prostration, making offerings, and then rejoicing, and then requesting to teach the Dharma, requesting to live long, and of course before the rejoicing there's the purification, right? Offering, prostration, offering, purification, rejoicing, requesting to live long, requesting to turn the will of Dharma, and dedication. So those are the 7 limb practices. Those are the practices to be done when you practice. So here in our prayer books, when you do the Guru Yoga of Lama, and so in that it includes all the 7 practices. So that's what we do here also, right?
존나 치대 지금 말이야. 까마 뉴쇼. 아니 까마 숨치대. 아니 삼으라고 딱. 그러지. 네. 딱. 소소 지남지 가리 삼으라고 딱. 들이 다 뒤집게 그래서.
And so then you know whatever practice you do, then you start with that, and then with a good intention you engage in your practice, whatever practice you usually do, your daily practice and so forth.
right? 아니 대타네. 아니 들리 봐줘. 아니 다 쇼자도 사. 아니 보라서 보야랑 거다 야랑 같이 만데 치아니 내가 그래서.
And then after that, you can go eat and do your breakfast, and then if you have children, to take care of, prepare them, and then you do that, and then you have your breakfast, and then start to go to work. And then also when you go to work, you can again set up a proper motivation to go to work. And so if you think like, today I'm going to go to work in order to benefit others. In order to benefit others, I'm going to go to work. If you go with that kind of intention, then that work becomes also positive. And so it's true that whatever you're doing, it helps a lot of other people, other beings, in many different ways. And so you know that this is benefiting others, so it says, in order to benefit these beings, I'm going to do this work. So then if you do that with that kind of intention, then the whole day's work becomes positive. And also you can think that whatever I do today, may it benefit others, may it not cause any harm to others. So instead, if you set up motivation thinking that, I'm going to go to work today, so what could I do? What can I do to deceive somebody so that I can make more money for myself? Or what can I do to make others worse than myself? Make others others less bad, less good than myself, and so forth. So if you go with that kind of intention, then it's all filled with jealousy and pride and so forth. So it becomes all negative. The whole day's work becomes negative.
Usually the business people, they say, call, pick up the phone, call now. Those kind of business people try to make people go.
Trick people.
That is all they call. Call now, pick up the phone. You got opportunity now, they say things. Anyway, today economic Canada, Namjuna delivered some young some nomadic, Geshe Ngawang Tenley, Kanshi,
So, we will have many different kind of intentions. So if we have a good intention, like to benefit others, to help others, and not to cause harm to others, then that becomes all positive. So we should try to have that kind of good intention.
And Gonda Tulip Samaya, Mama Nimanaya, Suzukan, Terichi, Duadrichena, the Sassons and Topshit Avipa, Sha. And it's Chamachi.
And then in the evening when you come back from work, and then before you go to sleep, you should check what you did throughout the day. So if you find you did something wrong, something bad, some negative karma, then you should purify that. Whatever negative karma that you created by doing those bad activities, by shouting, by scolding, by harming and so forth, then you should purify that with the four opponent powers.
아니 강사실 교와다 조상 샘체 탐조 상제 고바 토야기 배도 좀 보고 그랬어.
And then if you see that you have done good, then rejoice on that. Think, oh, that's very good that I did that, and I should keep on doing that. I should do it more, and then and then you dedicate that merit, whatever virtuous actions that you have created on that day. You dedicate the merit in order to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings.
아니 대사는 아니 다 자선세 아니 예사의 주용 아니 야수주치 som당같이 요랬어. 이거에 대한 거지.
And then after that, after you have dedicated, through the power of this merit, may achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And then you go and make 3 prostration, at your altar, and then you go to bed. And then also again you have to, that's a way to think, so that your sleep becomes positive as well.
아니 대가래 빠데 써요라 뭐를 뭐지 나고 15분 되지나 까지 친구는 고소 투임으로 짜도 소시 대리 뜻도 쩌네. 아니 수수 라마다. 아니 다 수수까지 자외 라마다. 아니 상제 걔네가 남아야바나 걔도 모임에다 내가 팬네 수수리는 마셔네. 수수 샘다 모임에다 이제 소원에 그런 것들이 이렇게 아니 니와나 또 계속 잘하고 이랬어.
So there's a prayer there, right? The all glorious Guru, please take a seat on my crown, and with a great kindness, please bless my body, speech, and mind. So that prayer that you see here, you can recite that before you go to sleep. Recite that. I mean, this is only if you're a Buddhist and you believe in those. If you do those practices, then you can do that. And so at that time, if you have a guru, that you rely on, and then you may visualize your guru on the crown of your head, and then as you do that, then he dissolves, or he or she dissolves into you, and then your body, speech, and mind are all blessed by his or her holy body, speech, and mind. And then you remember the guru, right? So you sleep with the thought of guru by remembering him or her, and therefore the whole sleep becomes positive, and then you will not have those kind of nightmares and so forth. And also if you have difficulty sleeping, in some sorts of insomnia, then you can recite mantras, then that will also help you to fall asleep.
This way, very hard,
And so the sleep itself, is not virtuous or non-virtuous. It's a variable factor. So you can change it. You can verify it. You can change it to whatever you want. So by sleeping with a positive intention, it becomes positive. If you sleep with a negative intention, then it becomes negative. If you don't have positive or negative intention, then it becomes neutral. Right? So you can change the sleep in any way you want.
들이봐서 나도 로치라 샤보 숨자 두째로 왔어.
So in one day, in 1 year, we have 365 days, right?
다 매대 녀말에 주세 제레녀에나 나도 녀말 나와 가더라 녀요 그래서. 로치나 나와
So
가더라.
if a person sleeps 8 hours a day, how many hours, or how many days, or how many months maybe the person have slept in a year?
Okay, now you was a
4 months.
good math, was a math.
Math.
Mathematics to count. Now 4 months it was. 나도 나와 싫다 얘들 was told us.
So we spent 4 months out of a year just sleeping, right?
Now we check this kind of person. He said there's 100 years. I think I will look after that years.
So if the person lives for 100 years, how many years has he slept?
33.
33.
What? 33 years. We just rest. 33 years. 33 years. 그럼 데리고 사무단다. 된장을 넣었으면 손인데 계산하고 끝나면 쟤는 나도 배치 당한다고 왔어.
So if we think about that time, the 33 years, then we can do a lot in 33 years, achieve a lot of things, right, in 33 years.
와한테 된장을 끊어 쟤네 간지 딱 교와서 접시하나 교와 lap처럼 몸을 줘야 그랬어.
So anyway, if you can, if you know how to do this kind of practices, while sleeping or awake, then all this time can make it very meaningful.
That's very, very true. Usually most people sleep 8 hours every day, right? Every night, some more. Then the person live 80 years. Then we sleep how many years? 80 years. The person live 80 years.
Sorry.
Huh? Good. Okay. Good. Fast. This person to live 80 years. How many years they sleep? We count 8 hours. Huh?
26, 27.
26 and 30.
Look, you think about that, you feel a lot, right? Usually we don't think, I just can't think that. But this way, rest, making it a lot more negative, positive ways. Okay. What to do? Only that, take on that, that chair, the number so chair, that you may not, Zanshu to the best. Zanshu to the kind of only kind of land was.
So if you have other practices to do, then you do your practice. If not, then you can recite the King of Prayers. So the King of Prayers is available online and in the prayer books and so forth. So if you can do that, that would be very good.
아니 자주관나라 다 특이해서 세명 나서 세 명하고 다금 디바는 딱 그런 세 명아시 디바는 맞 강가 미시왕의 샤바다 딱 밑에 수수 미시왕의 샤바다 대여 사무실한테 줘봐야나 이제도 말이 하나 사르고 당으로 소리죠.
So in the King of Prayer, there's a verse where it says, if a person has heinous crimes by reciting these prayers, that by reciting the King of Prayers, even if one has created 5 heinous crimes, then all those negative karmas will be purified just by reciting these King of Prayers. Without exception, means without leaving any behind. Everything will be completely purified if we recite the King of Prayers.
대나시가 똥하는 전화로나 지요. 나빠게 잡았는데 어떻게 드리고 쏘는데 사설이 멋져 말해서 사실 컨택을 해서 요라요.
And also there's another part of the prayer which says that even if you just touch the prayer book, touch the King of Prayer book, or of course see it or read it, then the benefit of that is inconceivable. So inconceivable. So only fully enlightened being can explain what kind of benefit you can receive from that.
Okay? 다 교회 편에는 뭐무시야 그랬어.
So there are many benefits of virtuous actions.
그래다 엄마 별들이다 담치셔 가지고 다 라마 체제 교회 편에는 다 라마 체도 저거 상제 그래다 나고 파시 신고사랬어. 다 늑배 님이시나 다 나도 지나려와 다 계속 얘기하다 다 남기 라마 치고 가와를 서래서
So we have these benefits of the positive actions. Right? So when you think about the positive benefit, then so whatever small thing we do, it's great, right? It's inconceivable just reciting one King of Prayers. The benefit of that is inconceivable. So that how many times we have read, and if you're reading it every day in your life, how much benefit there is, that's like even much more, right? So according to that, then you should be almost like enlightened, right? You have no negative karma left. You should be almost enlightened. But then when we talk about the negative karmas, then the result of negative karma is so bad, and how much negative karma we create just by doing small things without knowing it, and then that will lead us into like hell realm for eons and eons, in hell without respite for eons and eons. So when you think about that, so there's you can think about the extreme benefit of both positive and negative karma. So there was this lady, who received teaching from a lama, and then he explained, all these benefits about the virtue. And then she said, when you explain the benefit about the virtue, then let alone you lama, even I, old lady, seems to be almost enlightened. And then he says, then she said, when you explain about the drawbacks or the disadvantage of the negative karma, then let alone me, old lady, even you lama, I'm not sure where you're going to be born. so there's a great benefit of the positive actions, and then the great drawbacks of the non-virtuous actions as well.
Okay, today that 가서 rinpoche야, 라마서 rinpoche다 말소, 아니 최소되게 다 유연하면은 아니 공민만들에다 기억가마, 다시 고전을 수트라이었죠. 그걸로 송도 왔어. 대사와 좋은 님바 주보라고 하면 나도 그걸로 그래서 왔어.
And so our spiritual guide, the Rinpoche of this center, our spiritual guide, Lamaso Rinpoche, who is the founder and the spiritual guide of this center, advised us, to read Golden Light Sutra. So not only on that day, of course we wouldn't do on that day, on the full moon day, but the whole month, if you can recite, and on the whole month, that would be great. But and definitely we're going to be reciting on that day, on the full moon day.
today that you might show me some shit on you might tell
And so you don't have to finish the whole sutra in one day, at one sitting, in one session. You can read like a few pages now, and then a few pages later, or a few pages today, and a few pages tomorrow. So during the whole month, if you can recite, if you can finish reciting one Golden Light Sutra, that will be very beneficial also.
Okay? This is today's talk. Today I'm sorry we're not going to read this book. It's a goodbye book today. Then now we also recite the 21 Tara Panchan for benefit for all the mother sentient beings, and particularly mothers, to long life, happy life, successful life. We recite the one time. Okay?
Page 221.
Page 221, that